Hello, my beautiful Scorpios. Welcome to the Divine Dojo. My name is Gabriella, if you haven't been here before. I will be doing your reading. I am doing your reading for April 29th to May 5th. Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. I'm not Mexican, but you know, I enjoy the culture. So, we're gonna clear the energy. I feel like Scorpios need to clear the energy, especially with Lilith being in our sign, wreaking havoc with the wild feminine going berserkers over there. I love her though. Women really love the Lilith, you know, that dark Lilith, which is great to embrace and, you know, work with the shadow, but definitely you don't want to be stuck there. And in Scorpio, she can go dark, baby. Dark and deep. So let's clear the energy for all the haters out there. As we know, being Scorpios, we've just naturally, since little children, we've had haters for some fucking reason, you know? Whatever, it is what it is. We're just our plight, it seems like, you know, being born a Scorpio. Beautiful. Clearing that energy, clearing that negativity. We ask Spirit to guide this reading and bring nothing but benevolent energy and light into this reading, and crystal clear messaging for the Scorpio collective, which I love so much. What do I want to do? I think I want to start with the Kim Kranz archetype deck, just to get a opening card for us. I hope you guys are doing well. We had that Taurus new moon on Sunday, too many cards, beautiful energy. And then we have our, she's flying all over the place. We had our new full moon coming up on the 12th. So we got 4 cards. Oh, nice. I like ye. So we have the forest. What is a Scorpio reading without a deep dive into the woods, right? Into the dark woods, into the scary woods. But I love how this one has like the aurora and rainbow colors. You know, it wouldn't be a Scorpio reading if we didn't have something magical. And I love how the tent right there, it's like you're going through a portal, you know, walking through a portal, even though technically it's a tent. I love it. I think that's a beautiful card. And it reminds me of the Cure song, I'm lost in the forest. And then there we are, the shapeshifter. I think Scorpio is one of the signs that is so misunderstood, because, you know, people think that we're just so cold and blah, 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 and this and that, you know, whatever, all the opinions. I've heard it all, right? Oh, you're a Scorpio. And it's just like, you don't know shit, man. It's just because we're adaptable, right? We can adapt to most situations, and we have that snake thing going on. I don't know. I'm a Scorpio snake year, so this is the year for me, although I'm a metal snake, not a wood snake. But anyhow, enough about me. But I do believe Scorpios are the shapeshifters of the zodiac, because really we can get along with most people. It's just if they have an issue, then we're like, right? So I love that for us. So the shapeshifter. And then we have the bridge. Look at these two. They're super similar too. I love the bridge. How can the Scorpio collective, and remember this is a general read, so just keep that in mind. Stuff might not resonate with you, but how can you become the bridge? How can you, I know that I have, since 2020, you know, for me, I my relationships have completely changed. I have completely changed in the sense that, like, I don't go to my old haunts and my old stomping grounds anymore, you know, like I stay clear away from them. And, but also, you know, it's like, that's my choice because I'm going on a different path. But like, how can we, and I think to myself, like, how can I create a bridge? Because I have been longing for a community and you know, a different set of friends, if per se, if you want to say that. I mean, I have, you know, good relationships like with my neighbors and stuff like that, but I really, being my age, it's harder to make friends, you know, that last long or what have you. So how can you be the bridge? For me, it's like, I always try to be the one who starts a conversation, and I know that's hard for some of the introverted Scorpios, but I always try to just, you know, start conversations and see. I love people, you know, I love peopling. I love watching people. I love seeing how people interact. I love, you know, like I can see like connections right away, and so I always considered myself like a connector. I did real estate for a long time as well. So, you know, connecting people to homes or people to, you know, places and things like that has always been one of my gifts as well. And I love this. How can you be a bridge and, you know, change the relationships that aren't working, or maybe you don't want to commit anymore to those relationships, and maybe it's time to, you know, don't burn that bridge, as Scorpios like to do. We like to burn shit down and say bye, and we don't think about it. Maybe it's not so much about burning the bridge, but like keeping the bridge there, but, you know, just crossing over and being like, peace, I love you, you know, but it's just not working out for me. Or I'm just not feeling this right, you know, right now, and maybe later it will change. I don't know. Or, you know, building on the relationships that you do, or being the bridge on the relationships that you do want to connect with more. That's what I'm focusing on. How can I be the ones that, you know, takes the first step, basically? How can I be the one who takes the first steps and opens conversations, or, you know, doesn't have the fear to have the hard conversations, things like that, which I think is beautiful. And then which leads us to the nectar, you know, the juicy stuff, that that goody good stuff, you know, that we love so much. We love being in relationships. You know, the ultimate thing for a Scorpio is to be on a one-on-one relationships, unless you're a swinger, or, you know, you have that what is it called now, the multiple partner thing. I don't know, that seems to be popular in the spiritual community for some reason, whatever, you know, no judgment. To me, this is like the good stuff in life, and especially being Taurus, you know, Taurus being on an opposite sign. The Taurians love the earthly pleasures, you know, the food, the drink, the luxury, the satin sheets, all of that stuff, right? So how can we enjoy more, bring more joy and more of this juicy goodness into our lives, right? Which, that's something I'm working on as well. Beautiful cards to begin with, Scorpio. So what else is going on this week? So this week we have Mars going, Mars went direct, but it's coming out of shadow. And then we also have Jupiter that's coming out of shadow, which is really, really great for everybody, the collective and Scorpios, everybody, right? So and then we have Mars in Leo, which is it's a sign that it likes to be in. It's not exalted, but it likes to be in Mars and Leo. So this week we have those things shifting and just like coming on full steam. And then also we have Venus conjunct Neptune in Aries, which is a beautiful time for creative inspiration, for personal growth, for, you know, coming out and doing this, being in the spotlight, being in the limelight, you know, speaking of which, Knight of Swords, you know, getting out there and getting it, right? And then the 10 of Pentacles, you know, when we do this, we generate energy so we can go, you know, and bring these pentacles into our lives, but which is this week is an opportune time because nothing is retrograde. All planets direct right now until Sunday, where Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius. But Pluto is not a personal planet, so it won't affect us. And being that Pluto is our ruler, I mean, we live with that shit, right? So whatever's. Whatever's. Dear Spirit, let's get a clear message for the beautiful Scorpio family out there. Beautiful Scorpios. Beautiful Scorpio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, yeah. So we have, you know, we might have past disappointments. What Scorpio hasn't have past disappointments? I know I have. And it's time to move on. It's time to close chapters. You know, Scorpios have been dealing with a lot of relationship and career stuff. Maybe this has to do with your career. Maybe this has to do with, you know, relationships, friendships, families, whatever it is. Maybe it's time to close the chapter and, you know, and say goodbye. And like I said, don't burn that bridge. It doesn't have to be burnt and, you know, to the ground or anything. But, you know, keep the bridge there, and you know, maybe it's time to say goodbye and move on, because then yeah, we're walking away, right? We're walking away from a lot of things as Scorpios. And one of the things that we definitely need to walk away is from being introverted and like, you know, as a Scorpio, definitely love, you know, my cave, my home, it's my sanctuary. But, you know, I definitely am one of those social Scorpios that needs to be invigorated, you know, by other people. And then I'm out there and then I get drained and then I'm like, bye. But you know, we need it, right? So we can't be that introverted Scorpios. We need community, because the world is only going to get louder in the next couple of years, and it's just going to be nothing but fire and air. And actually, Scorpios, I always associate with a lot of, I don't know if you've seen that meme of like the ocean with fire in it. That basically describes the Scorpios, right? Which is so true. Especially, you know, if you have a lot of fire and water, you know, which I do, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, then we move on to, from the eight of, when we walk away and move on, you know, we become the emperor. We become the emperor of our lives. I mean, we always are the emperor of our lives, right? And this week is the perfect week to, and it's that Aries energy. This week is a perfect week to, whatever has been stagnant. It's time to, you know, put aligned, actionable steps towards our goals, and because we've been stalled, you know, the whole collective really has been stalled. So depending on, you know, where the planets are in your house and all of that, sorry, I have the card facing this way. You know, the whole collective really has been stalled, but, you know, a lot of things that we were dealing with was relationship based, and, you know, just a few months ago. And so maybe now all of that stuff is coming to a head now, right? But I think it's beautiful that we get the Emperor card, because, you know, then we come into this happy Nine of Cups. This dude is just happy. He's just like, what? You know, he's super happy. He's like wish come trues, contentment, satisfaction. He has emotional stability. He, you know, he's not tripping like this fool here. You know, he's walked away and he's happy now. Because he's gotten rid of, you know, the problems. I mean, not that we're not going to have problems in the future, but he's faced the problems, he's faced the fears, he's dealt with them. And if you still have lingering things going on, then this is a great week to, I keep doing that. This is a great week to, you know, face those fears, face those problems. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's get more of a message, because we have the Eight of Cups, the Emperor, and then in between the Knight of Cups. So interesting, very interesting. What else? Yeah, Seven of Swords, thank you, Spirit. Ace of Pentacles. flipped. Lord, too many. Too many. Sorry, Scorpios. It's too many. Too many. This fucking Three of Swords. You know, sick of you. One more card for Scorpio Spirit. Okay. Well, what the fuck is going on here? Well, it's okay. So yeah, so then we move from the Nine of Cups to the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. So this to me is like, yeah, maybe, you know, it's like coming clean in our relationships, you know, moving on from them. I mean, you know, upright, he's like sneaking away. There's, you know, deception there, you know, going on. And maybe you have been deceived, or maybe you're doing the deceiving, and it's time to come clean and, you know, maybe rethinking it or taking a different approach. Or maybe we're deceiving ourselves, right? And stuff that we are trying to walk away from, or haven't walked away from and need to walk away from, right? Maybe there's secrets, I don't know. But then we move on to the Ace of Pentacles, which, you know, this is our coin. This gives us abundance. This is an opportunity, right? Maybe it's a new venture, maybe, who knows. But then it's also the Knight of Pentacles that, you know, if you put in the hard work and we stop this like competition and defending ourselves with the Seven of Wands, there is no competition, you know. The only competition is ourselves. And I think that's what the Scorpio collective is moving towards. You know, as a Scorpio collective and a Scorpio myself, I've noticed that there's always people trying to compete when it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just trying to have fun here. Like, why are you sitting here and competing, right? And it never makes sense to me. Like, there's just like a innate jealousy. And I'm not saying this from like an ego thing, like, oh, everybody's always jealous of Scorpio. No, but there's just something about our sign that triggers the fuck out of people, right? For some odd reason, we were just born into, I don't want to say strife, you know, because, you know, that's not the story for everybody. But generally speaking, we're born into some hard shit, right? Some more than others, man, you know, definitely some more than others and some less than others. So it is what it is. I wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, it's like conflict and heartbreak always follows us, and it's just so annoying. And, you know, giving and receiving. And that's the thing, that I think the Scorpio collective is finally coming to the realization that they need to stop giving so much of themselves and start giving to others, and then, you know, start using that and utilizing that beautiful energy that we have and put it towards ourselves, you know, and put it in towards mutual sorry, the neighbor's dog is like going crazy right now. And putting our energy into relationships that actually are reciprocal and that give back and that give time, right? Because we're tired of this shit. We're tired of conflict. We're tired of competition. We're tired of all of that. You know, we just want to be loved and give love and like have no ulterior motives, right? This fucking devil and this Three of Wands, we're so sick. We're so sick of this energy. We are just so done with it, right? And I think that's what the Scorpio collective is finally realizing. Like, why, maybe that's the pattern that needs to be broken, you know? Because we always are so generous until we're not, right? Until we're done. And then when we're done, we're done. And it's like, we have to start thinking about our relationships differently and prioritizing ourselves differently, and really, honoring ourselves first, and what we're willing to put up with and not, and not put up with, and setting some healthy boundaries with people. Because I've noticed that, Scorpios will give and people will take as much as they can, and it's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. So it is what it is. I think it's a beautiful thing, though. I think it's a beautiful thing that the collective is finally realizing their fucking worth, and the Scorpio collective is realizing their fucking worth, and they're just not willing to compromise and deal with this shit anymore. Deal with all of this, like 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords, all this conflict. We want this. We want emotional balance. We want, we need to become the leaders of our lives and have our pentacles and have our emotionally balanced life and emotionally balanced humans, that we share life with as well, and not this codependent or toxic relationship stuff that, society, unfortunately. And this is a collective. This is not going to resonate with everybody, but anyhow, I think it's beautiful. The devil energy is always there. What do Scorpios deeply always want? They want a partner, a lover, and I think we won't be happy until we do find that partner. But how do you find that partner? You create the ultimate, what you want in that partner, you create in yourself. So, yeah. I think it's beautiful, Scorpio. I think we're done with all of the bullshit, and we're done with all the fighting, and we're done with all the conflict, and we want to move on from that. And it's up to us, though, to set those boundaries and, and be the bridge and be the sweetness and the shapeshifter is us, but it's time to stop being the shapeshifters and start it's good to be it, but also just start being ourselves, our true selves, our sweet selves, our innocent selves, that we know we are, and we have our beautiful hearts and beautiful souls, right? We know we are, but we've just been fucked up so long with life and people, and always being the givers. It's rough. It's rough to be a Scorpio out there, but be the bridge, be the sweetness, be the beautiful, beautiful Scorpio soul that you are. Because when you give, and just be cautious of who you give your love to. I'm not saying have your walls up, have your heart open, but just be super discerning of who and where you give, and who, what, where, and when you give your energy, to people. It has to be the right people who are willing to give the same back to you. So I think it's absolutely fucking beautiful. Yeah, and it's the hermit, go within. It's that inner wisdom, the being alone obviously comes with the territory of being a Scorpio, but yeah, tap into that inner guidance, tap into that star that's he's holding right there. You are the star. One last message for Scorpio in the tarot. What is the best action that they can take this week? Spirit. What is the best action they can take this week? Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, new ideas, curiosity, look at life, look at the challenges, look at all of these, all the shit that has gone on has made you the beautiful person that you are today, right? And look at life as, instead of like the challenges that we might be facing or going through right now in this period or this week, look at them as opportunities and think of them as like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to grow and level up and heal. Obviously, we always have the thirst, the pages. Again, it's like that sweetness come with the pages. Always remind me of young spirit that come in with like an innocence and ready to go, and I love that. Community, new ways of community, a thirst for knowledge, maybe a little bit too much mental energy. I know I've had that, like starting yesterday. I had the worst headache and I was just like in my head all day today. Yesterday. So maybe we're having a little bit of the mental energy, but I think it's good to have, to be thinking about things, but not ruminating so much and going into a dark place, but looking at things in a positive light, in a sweet light, and thinking of things and challenges as opportunities. And coming out like the motherfucking Queen of Swords, and just having clarity and crystal clear clarity within ourselves, and setting boundaries if we need to with people, and stating what we will or will not put up with. And if people want to leave, bye Felicia, like that's okay. It's time to move on and let certain relationships, jobs, careers, whatever, friendships go, if that's the case, right? You need to honor yourself first. Queens always honor themselves first. Emperors always honor themselves first. This guy is definitely fucking, emotionally balanced and honoring himself first. So, and then, we have things coming in hot, and I can attest to this because I've been waiting on something, and boom, it's just like came in today, and I'm like, okay, now I have like 2 weeks to get stuff ready for what I need to do. So things will be coming in this week to give you that clarity that you need to move forward. So it's a beautiful week. Like I said, no planets retrograde except for Pluto on Sunday, but again, it's not a personal planet. And I love that we end with the Queen of Pentacles, right? Yeah, who knows what's going to come? Maybe a new opportunity, maybe a door is closing, but a new one will open. You never know. That's why I'm saying look at things. Look, if you're walking away from things, think of them not as a loss, right? Not like, okay, I've lost this, blah, 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 blah. No, look at it as like, okay, lesson learned. I'm not going to repeat that again, right? And the universe will test us when we're leveling up, if you are ready to move forward or not. So, but when you are and you set those boundaries and you move forward in like the leader that you always have been, but now are moving towards, you become this Queen of Pentacles, and again, it's just energies, like having the energies, male or female, it doesn't matter. And it again, she reminds me of like the giving and receiving, right? She's generous, but she's also knows who to be generous to. She's discerning. Like this queen here, she's super discerning, and she's a little bit more cold, but she knows what's up. She's like, she can see clearly, and hopefully you'll be getting that clarity this week, since we are all systems go. I love this. I think it's beautiful. Scorpio. Let me pull. You know what? I want to do a Wisdom of the Oracle card for you, my lovelies. What message can we give Scorpio for the week of April 29th through May 5th? One clear message, Spirit, please. Thank you. Oh, we got 2 cards. So, all this bullshit. But, Unfinished Symphony. And then this came out with the Libra card too, building blocks. So, maybe you do have some unfinished stuff that you need to take care of, right? With all this bullshit that we've had going on in our lives, in relationships, careers, what have you, whatever, take it where it resonates. Let's finish it, right? this is the week to take steps to finish it or transform it or transmute it in one way or another, and finish it. And when you do, you know, you can start building upon the new life, the new goals, the new dreams that you have, you know, in that beautiful, beautiful heart of yours. I love it. I'm going to read the protection message of the Unfinished Symphony, and then at the end, but we'll pull an Akashic Record card, Oracle card. What's message for Scorpio, please? One clear message. So perfect. Release attachments. Yeah, I mean, as a Scorpio, we get attached, right? I mean, as soon as like we kiss somebody, we're like, you know, or whatever, have sex, or, you know, and it doesn't need to necessarily be intimate or romantic. You know, whatever we put ourselves into, whether it be our career, friendships, art, you know, anything, we grow attached. We're just built that way, right? We go deep and we go hard, and we just go there, you know, and like latch on and do all of that. So this tells me exactly what I've been saying, you know, that like as Scorpios, we just are born into fucking bullshit, conflict, you know, for the most part. I mean, not that every other people aren't, you know, that being in life here on earth is conflict, you know, it's getting through it, you know. Some people have it way easier than others, for sure. And we just seem to have that. And we wouldn't have it any other way, because that's how we transform and become the greatest people and healers and psychics and mediums and artists and blah, blah on earth, right? So I think we chose it a lot, you know, we chose it. We're like, I want to have a crazy ass life. So there you go. Boom, Scorpio. You know, with a lot of connections and a lot of emotions and a lot of, you know, deep bonds and blah, blah, and attachments. So it says release attachments, and I love that. It says there's something you need to let go of. It's either a limiting belief, an untruth, or a negative behavior. I can attest to that. It's holding you back and keeping you from stepping into your true potential and happiness. What is this devil? We all know, we all have our devils, right? We all have our addictions, issues, you know, things, and we know what it is. We know what it is. You know, it's just a matter of whether you're conscious of it or not, you know, and if you are conscious of it, it's time to release it. If you're not conscious of it, it's time to do some shadow work, some inner work, especially while Lilith is in Scorpio, to do some shadow work and unearth like what is the root of the problem and attachment, right? Or what's limiting you? Why are you being limited? So release attachments. Beautiful. I'm gonna pull an angel number card and then read the Unfinished Symphony card, the protection message, because I'm feeling in my gut that that's what we need. 1515, maybe you have seen this number, maybe you're seeing it now, or maybe you are seeing it now. It says the big break: innovation, focus, creation, progress, momentum, mastery, achievement, and passion. An exciting opportunity, support, or extra resources are heading your way. Buggy. And yeah, so it's like that Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, you know, putting into actions. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Did I say the Queen of Pentacles before? I meant the King of Pentacles. I'm sorry, my loves. You know, I'm getting to the age where I need freaking readers. It sucks. It says, keep moving forward with enthusiasm and enjoy the process. True success comes from passion, and your dedication will be handsomely rewarded. And beautiful. I love it. You guys, the Scorpio collective is so damn special. You know, we're such a breed. You know, I know I'm biased, but whatever. Where's the book? Oh, here it is. 10, Unfinished Symphony. I feel like the protection message is when... Yeah, it says, let's see the overall message. It says, essential message. Unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. I can relate to that. This is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it is important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional, psychological closure can occur and answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. Yep. And then it says protection message. When unfinished business casts a shadow over your life, it is a reminder that procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. It is not your best interest to stall. Even stumbling forward is better than holding back. Don't overthink things or let yourself get distracted. Just tie up loose ends and deliver the results. Don't quit before the finish line. Spirit wants you to win. It's true, you know, and I'm guilty of this. I need to tie up some shit, you know. Some loose ends that I know needs to get done, but it will happen. It's a beautiful reading, Scorpio. I think there's just a lot of closures because we have been getting the world in a lot of our readings for the past couple of past like month and a half or so. I think a cycle is ending in the Scorpio collective. Especially we've had that fixed energies. I mean, everything was in fixed signs, kind of still is for the most part, except, you know, things are moving now into like Aries and stuff like that. But anyhow, yeah, we had a lot of fixed energies, and doing the tarot, the world card came out a lot for us. The world and the tower, of course, you know. But it has been coming out, and it's time, you know, to change because the chapter is closing, you know. It's time to transform ourselves, and we can't move towards the next thing if we still have, you know, lingering stuff back here. But again, let's remember not to burn the bridge, right? Come from the sweet, innocent place. Don't close the door, but don't burn the bridge, right? Don't just go over the bridge and, you know, don't look back, but the bridge is still there. So you can always not go back to it, but, you know, reflect on it. And, you know, if the person comes over and they're a different person or you're a different person, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely don't burn that bridge. You know, some bridges definitely need to be burned where it's some toxic, abusive shit. Burn that motherfucker down and don't look back. But if it's just stuff that's just not resonating or aligning with you anymore, move on. Move on, you know. So beautiful reading, Scorpio. I am so happy that you are here. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Love ya.